Last time on the Incorrigible Party.
Bryn, Shakara, and Falzarin are blasted out of their state of shock as Gozer's beat of fireball erupts around them. Who were once dear friends and family are now an immediate threat to the party as they ready themselves for a fight.
Shaft, get your butt in here! Brendel's a scion!
Shaft quickly joins the fray from the relative safety of the tunnel beyond this chamber full of corpses, just in time to witness the hellacious scene of Brendel's toothy, deep scion grin, Thuff's terrifying face peel, and Gozer's blast from her ring of the ram that knocks Shakara backwards.
And you guys can see that Shakara was really shook up by that. Like, severely shook up by that.
Despite the party's efforts, the tide of battle is turning in the anti-party's favor. Brendel's area of conjured, inky black tentacles lashing out and grasping at anybody in its wake, wrapping around Falzarin and slowly squeezing the life from him.
Well, let's not talk about why we're in a tactically poor situation right now, Bryn.
Okay. Fair enough.
With some quick thinking, Shaft lunges for Brendel, delivering a mighty strike, causing his concentration to falter, instantly dispelling the constricting tentacles. They are not, however, safe just yet, as Thuff strikes Bryn down. Shakara retaliates, but a nimble dodge and parry from the undead goblin sends Shakara's errant blade into the unconscious body of Bryn. On the brink of death, she makes her save.
I am so freaking nervous right now. Bryn's dead. Oh. What was that you wanted? More adventure? You got it.
Oh.
Oh no!
What? Oh, Shakara!
What'd you roll?
I'll take a picture of the dice right now. It's a D7.
no.
It's a 7.
It's not my fault!
Because
It's not my fault!
Oh no!
you can say it's not your fault, but I mean...
Welcome to Chapter 2.
Yeah, welcome to Chapter 2, guys.
She was just becoming a druid, too.
I know.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
now you can come back as a full druid.
The crazy thing is, I had a lot of hit points until the last few minutes. Like, I start with 58, like... I'm kind of tanky for a rogue. I was kind of tanky for a rogue.
Oh.
Well, it is Thuft. Now, seeing the dead elf at his feet, he turns on Dragonborn Shakara and just lashes out with his short swords. That's a 25 and a 17,
25 hits.
dealing 9 slashing damage.
So 6.
And I'd get you to roll a con save, but regardless, fail or success, you are immune to diseases.
I am.
Falzarin.
How does Thuff look?
He's actually looking pretty good.
He hasn't hardly been hit.
Yeah, he's just kind of been flitting around, sticking close to Gozer and getting in shots where he can.
We didn't, like, think he was the main threat, so we didn't bother with him.
Okay.
Can't believe Thuft killed... No, Thuft did not kill Bryn. Shakara.
And there's not enough space in this cave, because Thuff's right in the cave entrance, and I'm on the outside of this. I can't get by him without incurring an opportunity attack, I would assume.
That's right.
If I were to throw a health potion and it were to shatter and splash onto Shaft, would that heal him?
I think that would
My
be...
mouth is open.
Oh yeah, a waste of a good health potion.
I usually, every time I'm unconscious, I open my mouth right before I pass out. Just in case.
It's a reflex. And Shaft has one
Fail.
fail. How does Shakara look? If I look at how she's...
She's
Hanging
she's looking pretty bloody.
We're gonna die, guys. This is bad.
How's Falzarin looking?
Well, Falzarin could cast Lehman's tiny hut on himself to ensure that he makes it out of this. but the rest of you are out of luck in that.
Well, you have 8 hours. Who knows what might be climbing on you at that point in time.
Oh man. I mean, my most powerful spell is probably Fireball. I didn't see that Thuft looked like he had any resistance to that last Fireball, did I?
No.
All right. I'm gonna cast Fireball again. Right centered on Thuft. So I point my finger. I concentrate, in this small ball of red flame just launches out towards him, makes it to him, and then erupts into this massive circle of fire.
I assume you still sculpt Shakara. Are you bothering to
Yeah.
sculpt Bryn's body?
I would, yes.
Stuff gets a 21 for his dexterity save.
I'm sorry, but that is a fail.
I'm sorry, but you were full of shit.
I hate these dice so much. 18. So half of 18.
Chipping away.
4 1s there.
Oh, boy. Shakara, back to the top with you.
Okay. A little distraught over seeing Bryn's body go lifeless.
Because of your hit.
You're never gonna let that die, are you?
No.
Bring my longsword around to hit Thuft.
Unlike Bryn, it will live forever.
17. I assume 17 does not hit Thuft.
It does hit, though.
Oh, it does hit Thuft. Okay, I'm going to smite the heck out of him. That's 7 damage with my sword, and 13 for smite.
You
Nice.
finally, with this blow, you were able to knock the undead out of him. And you kind of cleave into his tiny little goblin frame, and you've now vanquished the current room's foes.
Okay, I'll go over to Shaft and lay on hands. I'm going to put my hands on his face, breathe in, breathe out, and give him 2 points of health. Shakara will come over to Bryn and see if there's anything that she can do and try and feel for any life remaining.
Yeah, you can make a medicine check if you want.
Yeah, I think I'm down on my knees. I'm kind of holding, her head and her shoulders kind of almost in my lap, looking to see if there's anything that can be done, if there's any life left in Bryn.
Got a 16 on my medicine check.
Shakara, as you're looking over Bryn's very motionless body, you don't detect any signs of life within her, but you and Falzern notice on her leather armors, her breast, this hand print. You see that it darkens, before your eyes. It just gets this blacker and blacker and blacker, until it almost seems to swarm over her entire armor set, turning basically from neck to toe this vivid, depthy black. And there appears to be nothing that you can do for her.
She is gone, Falzarin. All we can do now is say a prayer.
Yeah, as the last bit of her armor is engulfed by this blackness, her headband around her head, it starts to faintly glow, and it flickers. And then finally it snuffs out and turns the same black as her armor.
I go over to Thuft's body, sort of kick it, roll it over, look down at it. Looks pretty grotesque.
Yeah, skinless face.
And then I go over to Gozer and lean down and slide the ring of the ram off, stick it in my pocket, sort of look over Gozer. Is there any items that she had in life on her, bags or anything like that?
Yep, she's still the returning hand axe that when you throw it, it comes back to you. That's what she was wielding for that fight, plus this shield that had the faint scraping the symbol of the Paladins of Cultus was scraped off of it. You guys found from the grung. She had a small coin purse of gold. I think there was about 150 gold pieces on her person.
Okay. So I will take the gold and slide it in as they're all looking at Bryn. And then pick up the hand axe, sort of slide it in behind my belt. And then walk over and say, "How's she doing?
She is gone.
Can't you heal her?"
There's got to be something we can do for her. I can't accept this.
If we could take her body to a cleric, they may be able to resurrect her. But I am not skilled enough to do any such thing myself.
Well, we can't leave her here. They're gonna turn her into one of those things like they did with Gozer. And then we'll have to kill her all over again.
I hate to... Seems a bit disrespectful, but I can carry someone in my bag of holding.
I'm sorry. I can't stay silent for this. This is...
Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't have to worry about her dying because she's already dead.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's not gonna
Bryn's not
suffocate
someone
in
with
there.
much tact. She appreciates the ingenuity.
Yeah, I mean, we can't carry her.
Would that technically, would that, like, preserve her?
I'm pretty sure it heals her for 1 hit point every hour.
Yeah, boy.
Well, you can't put anything in there that's alive.
But she's not alive.
I think you can put a person into the bag of holding, but like they'd eventually suffocate. But obviously, her body won't suffocate.
Oh yeah, you can put whatever you want in there, as long as it fits.
Yeah, I mean, I think that way we could give her a good burial at the very least.
We do have people in my village that may be able to help if we could get her there and pay the price.
Let's see if we can put her in there.
I don't want to leave her here. Who knows what's going to happen to her poor body if it gets left here. It's just not right.
I agree.
Open it up. Let's do it.
Can we try to very gently and gingerly put Bryn's body into the bag of holding?
Absolutely, you unceremoniously slump her body into the bag of holding. See, a few of her limbs kind of bend the opposite way that they're supposed to as she lands on the bottom of this.
We would
bag.
put her in the head side first, and like a sleeping bag. We wouldn't go from the feet and then try arms slinging out to the side
There's a way to put a body
and snap
into a
'em.
shroud, Leland, and they know how to do it, okay?
Yeah, this never came up, but Bryn was double jointed, so very easy to compact her in there.
This is why she got so high in her acrobatics.
Yes, you are able to delicately, gingerly, and with the utmost respect, load Bryn's body into the bag of holding to possibly put her at rest at some other time, or maybe seek out some type of resurrection. And as you guys kind of finish up this task, you can kind of hear this soft echo down the tunnel of this cave that you guys had followed. Thuft had led you down into this ambush. Kind of hear this soft chanting. From this distance, it's difficult to make out exactly what they're saying.
I think I know I need a place to rest. Unless there's some way I can be healed, we need a place to hide for a good period of time.
Yeah, I
Where we can
agree.
be safe.
I agree, a rest is most urgently needed.
I have healing potions, but we're in bad shape here. They're not going to be enough.
Is there a way we could shelter ourselves in with these bodies somehow, so no way would be able to get to us?
Falzarin. Tiny hut.
Yeah, unfortunately, I cannot cast it because I have no 3rd level spell slots left.
We either got to get out of this place, or another option is go take a rest within the bodies.
Speaking of, the small fire that Shigar had lit with her breath has started to spread from the piles and these bodies. So there are now 2 of these 3 large main piles, the garments of which are now alight and shedding this illumination.
Smells delicious.
I would say that it probably smells better than the room did before of the rotting flesh. So these soft plumes of smoke are starting to fill this 60-foot chamber.
You know, the smart thing to do here, we still have time. We still have our potion of water breathing that we were told an hour. We have time to get back out into the boat.
I hate to say it, but I think you're right, Shaft. If we go on ahead and run into more enemies, this is going to end very badly.
How many healing potions do you have? Mayhaps we could each take one and make a run for the boat.
I have one, and I'll take it myself. I have 2, actually, but I'll drink my potion of healing from the grung. It gives me 6 points.
Here, Shakara, you can have one of these potions.
Thank you. That is very gracious of you.
Is it 2d4 plus 2?
Yep.
And I'm going to drink one of mine as well. So that's 6.
We still did not learn where the black goo is coming from, but that may have to wait for another time.
I agree.
I don't like to give up on something when we're potentially so close to answers, but I don't want to die over this either.
I believe we need more help.
We've already lost one of our friends here. I think it'd be reckless to risk our own lives any further.
I agree.
Let's go.
Okay.
And we quickly move down the hall from the way we came.
You're backtracking from the
yes.
You're going back the direction in which you came from the larger chamber with where you found the kind of the underwater tunnel through the lake. That's where you're going back to?
I'm gonna light a torch from the pile of bodies first.
Okay. As you're moving down this tunnel, the chanting, it's very clear that you are moving towards it as it is increasing in volume.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'll sort of hold my hand up and say, stay here for a second. And then I'm going to try to creepily go as far up around the corner as I can to see if I can, until I, see something.
Creepily? So
Yep.
you're going to put on
creepily.
a hockey mask or something when hold on.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay, you can roll me a stealth check.
I would be using Pass Without Trace, but I don't have any more second level spell slot. So that's okay. That's 18. Oh, wait a second. No. That's even more than that. It's 24.
As you are creeping, about how far back are Falzarin and Shakar are going to be staying from around this corner?
I'll be back far enough that my light won't shine around.
Yeah. And I'll stay right by Shakara.
As Shaft, you creep down this tunnel, the chanting it gets louder and louder, and you can make it out. It sounds like this chorus of voices. Dualagal nul nu sakul bai bilno ik kelakina. Duala, and it just repeats over and over and over again. And you get to the corner, and could you make me a perception check?
13.
You hear the soft thump of like footfalls on the stone, and peering around this corner, you see 3 figures. One turquoise-colored tiefling who you instantly recognize, and 2 very similarly garbed humans in the black robes that you've seen a number of times before. You see them, they're coming down, they're about just kind of at the range of your dark vision here, about 60 feet down the bend of this tunnel coming towards you. Very possibly, finally, someone reacting to the cacophony of echoes and booms that the battle raged mere minutes ago has caused.
And you say I recognize these individuals?
You recognize the tiefling. You know her to be by the name of Surma.
Okay. I'll take off down the hallway back to them and say, that's not a good way to go. We need to hide someplace. Let's go. And run back down the hallway back towards where we were. Now, there was a offshoot to this hallway, correct? I can't see it on the map right now.
You guys kind of came to this fork where you went right and led into the chamber with the bodies, the body dump, and continuing down the tunnel to the left of this Y-shaped fork. As far as your dark vision, Shaft with your goggles, and Falzarin with your natural abilities, and of course the much limited torchlight shed from Shakara, you all just see the tunnel continues to advance before you.
Before I forget, I want to say I did pick up the brand that Uncle Vanette had.
Did you search his body at all?
I wouldn't have done an extensive search, but I would have glanced over him.
Okay, why don't we do a retroactive investigation?
18.
Yeah, you don't find any other belongings on his person. Basically just the sword and the wooden idol that you picked up. Again, very strangely carved from wood, as you know is not common that Uncle Vanette would have been carrying on him when he left your village on his own journeys.
So I didn't find the metal version of it?
You did not.
Okay.
There weren't any, piles of gold hanging around in that room before we left, were there?
Who knows what was buried underneath those bodies, but you didn't check.
I wouldn't have.
All right.
Well, as you guys move past that entrance to the body dump, you do see these plumes of black smoke now kind of pouring out of its entrance, where the ceiling kind of dips below, not quite as high as it is in the main chamber, but so it's very clearly filling up pretty quickly to have already taken up the space above you.
Yeah, we can't hang around here. This is going to become uninhabitable pretty soon.
So we'll go down the hallway, and I'll say, you guys go around the corner and hide someplace. I'll try to take care of this.
Well, what's going on, Shaft?
I'm not sure yet. It's not good. I don't think it's going to turn out good, but if I can talk my way out of it and you guys can hide, maybe you guys can sneak out.
Why do not you hide with us?
Because I can probably explain why I'm here. I can't explain why you're here. You're gonna have to trust me.
Okay, I mean, how will we know if we need to come help you?
Well, I don't know.
You could try yelling help.
I don't think you guys are gonna survive if they find you.
Come, Falzarin, we shall hide away.
I guess that's the only choice we have. We're certainly not going to be able to stay in this little cavern here very long with the amount of smoke that's pouring out, so you've got a small window of time, I think, here, Shaft.
Where are we going to hide?
I think we would just go back into this initial cavern that cuts off of the hallway, which is adjacent to the cavern with the burning bodies in it, and just kind of huddle along the wall.
Okay, and I'll douse my flame.
So once they're hidden well, I'll put my weapons away and very confidently and with purpose walk down the hallway back towards Surma.
As you continue, you very clearly see these three figures now coming down the hallway, and you see the two humans in the black robes react by drawing their own weapons, and the tiefling that you know as Surma, she kind of sighs and she puts up a hand to the two humans. What are you doing here, Tobias?
I'm here to see my brother.
Yeah, I imagine that he'd want to speak to you.
It's been some time. I was wondering how old Spike was doing.
Long enough for me to hope that you had died, yes. Well, come.
Okay, I follow him.
And Falzarin and Shakara, you do hear this exchange kind of echoing down this tunnel now. Louder than the chanting, which you can still hear, as obviously they seem to be much closer than the source of the chants. Surma and the two humans, they step aside, and she holds a hand out to you, gesturing for you to continue ahead of them.
Okay.
It's not far. I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you.
Which direction do we hear this conversation heading towards, or their footsteps going towards? Like, can we tell which way they go down the hallway after they've talked?
Make a perception check.
I can't tell.
Yeah, I got a 3.
Echoing too much. Sounds coming from everywhere.
I will say, Falzarin, from your vantage point, kind of tucked around this little nook, should they have come towards you and past you further down this tunnel, you would have seen them at this fork, as you do appear to have clear visibility to the tunnel itself. So I think you can put two and two together and surmise that they certainly are not moving towards you, and there's only one other direction for them to be going.
So they went back the way that they came.
Yeah, back the way that you guys had previously entered.
Can I talk to Shakira and say, do you think we should try and follow them at a distance?
We can try.
It seems like they turned around and went back the way that we came in.
I don't think we want Shaft to get too far away from our aid.
I agree. I don't want to just sit here and wait, and what if he never comes back,
Agreed.
Falzarin has my longbow in his bag of holding on my dead body. Does he get advantage on stealth checks?
No, because he's not attuned to it, I'm afraid. Your dead body is very quiet, though.
I will need to use you to guide me, as I cannot see in the dark.
Sure, no problem. Just hold on to my arm, and you can walk right behind me. We just need to be as quiet as possible.
Okay.
Okay, what kind of lead time are you guys giving them after you've heard their conversation and now these footsteps? How long are you waiting until you move?
I want to go out to the mouth of this hallway here, or the mouth of the little cavern that we're in, and see if they're within eyesight of me or earshot. I'm going to wait until they're just about at the edge of whichever that is, and then I would maintain that amount of distance. But if they're already outside of my dark vision or earshot, then I'm just going to creep ahead until I eventually see or hear something.
So you're going to give them minimum 60 feet ahead of you, because that's the extent of your dark vision.
Basically, yeah. If I get to the mouth of this and I don't see or hear anything, I'm just going to proceed quietly. But if I do get to the mouth and I can see or hear them, I'm going to let
Roll a
them...
stealth check.
14.
12 for Falzarin.
Okay. Falsey, you're kind of leading Shakara. Shakara, did you roll that with disadvantage?
I did. I rolled a 12 both times.
Nice. Yes, Falzarin, as you get to this, the entryway back into this tunnel at this fork, you do just see at the limit of your vision the back of what looks like a robed cultist continuing into the darkness of this tunnel.
Okay.
But that's all you see. You do not see Shaft.
I'm going to pursue and keeping them kind of just at the edge of where I can make out their shadow.
So Surma, yeah, it's just kind of, again, she's gestured to Shaft, and she's walking, basically side by side with you, Shaft, as she does kind of have to lead you. At some points, either one of you step ahead or behind each other as this tunnel kind of does narrow and widen in spaces. She takes you to the corner, and you round it, where you had originally snuck up to, continuing down to hit another right in this tunnel, and leading you back to the main chamber in which you all entered. So why don't Falzarin and Shakara do me another... Just give me one more stealth check.
14.
11.
All right. You guys have hit now this first corner, and the chanting is Shakara and Falzarin. You do both now hear the words that are being spoken. Falzarin, can you roll me a history check?
16.
You immediately recognize them as being spoken in Sylvan, as you this language keeps popping up, it seems, wherever you guys go. And it seems that you've made it to this tunnel, effectively following them without being detected, as you are able to creep finally to this last corner, and you can kind of see around it, well, Falzarin can at least, into this main chamber. Shaft, where Surma leads you, where you had originally come in, and where the trail of the black slime leading to or from the water, depending on your perspective, I suppose, you now see drawn kind of where the source of it seemed to originate or end. There's now this six-pointed star has been traced out on the stone floor, and Shakara, you can now see actually this illumination as they're kind of where each point intersects. There's this lit candle casting a glow, and these two robed humans that had accompanied Surma, they take their position now at 2 of the 6 points of this star. And Shaft, you see, the other 4 are already occupied by more of these robed cultists. And standing in the center of the star, you recognize a halfling by the name of Danzig, and kind of on their knees with this sack over their head, dressed in this dirty and stained red and black white robe, is another figure at Danzig's feet. Danzig, it appears we have a visitor.
Brother?
And Danzig kind of looks up. Oh, my Tobias! Oh, my goodness! What a delight!
It's been a long time. How you been?
Why, yes, yeah, it's been years. You see his features, though, from the last time you've seen him, they've been warped somehow. They've become like almost fish-like in his facial features and the kind of the bone structure, and his cheekbones have kind of like slid almost. They look like they've moved back, and his mouth, the whole mouth kind of puckers, like a fish mouth. It almost kind of comes into this pucker, and his skin's like this pallid white, like pale color, kind of as he moves, and because seems to be very jubilant and clearly excited to see you, as he's kind of almost jumping up and down with excitement, as his garments are kind of ruffling. You see just at the base of his neck what looks like almost the start of the growth of gills.
Oh, you look good. You guys got a really happening place here. Hard to find. I mean, I've been looking for you for a while, and looks like you guys got some stuff going on. What's the gig here?
And these cultists, they do not stop their chanting. They're just continuing, and now, of course, from the 6 of them, it's just echoing and reverberating in this large chamber, and they don't stop at all as you continue addressing Danzig. Well, brother, had I known you were looking for me, I mean, I would have sought you out myself. You've come to help me. You've come to aid us in the awakening of Krelakina.
Oh, I mean, I'm in. Of course, but I have some things I have to do first, and I was sort of hoping you could help me.
Oh well, I mean, we're kind of in the middle of something. I mean, perhaps I could wait at least 5 minutes.
I mean, what's going on? I mean, I am in a bit of a hurry.
Oh, no. There's no rush now. Once Krelakina awakens, we will have all the time we need. Oh, it's very splendid that you're here. I can't believe this.
Yeah, Krelakina. I mean, I've heard of Krelakina, but, I mean, what's Krelakina going to do for us?
Like, you have? And he kind of looks around and shakes a finger at each of the cultists. I don't think we've been doing a very good job of keeping secrets around here.
Well, it goes beyond your little clan here. I mean, there's other people, right? I'm sure you know Isabella. And I look over at Surma, right?
Surma, she, this whole time you've been addressing Danzig, she's just sitting there with a very bored expression on her face, just sighing and kind of twirling the hair around her horns, her tiefling horns. Oh, we have nothing to do with Isabella.
Well, yeah, I figured as much, but, I mean, you know who she is, right? She's pretty powerful.
Oh, we don't need her. We have Erica. She's with us.
Oh, yeah, well, we've met Erica, too. Erica's great. I mean, she's quite a card, I'll tell you.
Oh, yes, she's been instrumental.
Is she around? I mean,
Oh, no. Erica doesn't need to come here. I mean, she hasn't visited in some time, I'm afraid, but...
We were just in her lair just days ago.
No kidding! I have yet to see it. I've heard it's wondrous.
It is amazing, let me tell you. She's done a wonder with the place, really. I could take you there.
Can you roll a deception with advantage, please?
Okay.
And quit saying we.
Well, that's a 20, and that's a 12. So 20.
Oh, well, don't you worry. Once the portal's complete, we'll be able to travel to and fro at our leisure. It'll make it much easier to bring these sacrifices around. And he gives like a hearty smack onto the hooded, the figure on his knees with the hood at his feet. Chuckles a little bit.
What's Surma doing?
Surma is just still standing next to you. She's not moved from your side yet.
Okay.
She doesn't carry any weapons. She's kind of in her own very similar robe, but hers is very much more ornate looking. It's more of a gray too. It's not quite the dark black in which these six humans are clad in. Well, I mean, usually Surma assists me, but maybe you can help me. And he kind of snaps his fingers, and one of the six cultists from these standing at a point of this star, you kind of see kind of behind him there was this small little barrel, and he reaches into it and you hear the sloshing of water, and he pulls out this squid and, still chanting, approaches Danzig and hands it to him. Danzig kind of takes it in one hand by its head, right, kind of keeping his arm free away from its tentacles, and as he's holding it and the water is dripping from it, kind of you see these pointed, very long pointed petals. They look like flower petals, also kind of sticking to the squid's slick body. And Danzig pulls the sack off of this kneeled figure's head, and you do see it's just another human. Again, there are no distinguishing features really, as they're wearing this robe. And now, though, you can see the robe. It looks like it has like cuts in it already, and it's stained this red, which you undoubtedly can recognize as being blood, in addition to the larger black stains. Danzig kind of looks at you. Well, I mean, you can either hold him or you can hold the dagger, as he motions to this dagger he has at his side.
Oh, no, I don't want to get in the middle of I'm way out of practice here. I mean, I don't even know exactly what... I don't want to screw it up.
Oh, Tobias, always... never confident in your own capabilities, but nonetheless. Surma, please, come over here and aid me. And Surma, gives you kind of a wary look and a little bit of a sigh, as she seems to, be very despondent to your presence in general. And she moves into the middle of the star with Danzig and takes the squid from him and forcefully places it over the kneeled person's head. And you see they have their hands bound behind them as well, and struggling feebly at their restraints. The squid, the tentacles, they latch around this person's head, and the squid covering its face. And Danzig draws his dagger.
Wait! Are you guys bringing... maybe I didn't pick up on this. You're summoning Kralakina right now?
Well, I mean, this is only one part of it. The number of times we have done this, I can't tell you. I'm almost bored with it, but it must be done. It is dutiful work, and it must be done.
So when you're done with this, there's a potential that we could actually see Cray Lakina?
Well, I mean, we've done the calculations, and I hope this could be it. If not, maybe one more, two more, I don't know. We certainly have enough to cover, though, the rounding up in the integers and whatnot.
Okay, I'll start walking around the, towards the water side.
Okay.
I'll just walk around like I'm checking out the area and making sure everything looks like it's good. And will Cray Lakina just appear right here, right in front of us in this star?
Oh, no. Can't you see him sleeping as he slumbers under the waves? And he motions to the very large, blacker shadow that's cast even in this tainted water that you guys had witnessed on your way in. And now Surma has started her own chant, and she's drawn her own dagger. And both of these daggers, they look very similar. They're incredibly ornate. They don't look like something you would want to wield in any type of actual combat, as their hilts are just like bejeweled to the nines from pommel to blade, just covered in these green and blue jewels. And they have this very sharp curve on them. They almost, very similar to like a scimitar's curve. And Danzig himself, he joins into the chorus as well, as he kind of, motions out to the dagger to you as if inviting you to come and do the honors.
I walk in. I walk up to him and take the dagger from his hand. And I look at him.
He's smiling, and like you can see now fully, like down his shirt, this full set of gills. And they open these flaps. They kind of open and close, and as you get closer and his smile grows bigger, the gill flaps kind of start moving and flapping more quickly as he's kind of getting excited for you.
He's happy to
yes,
see his
brother.
brother.
Yes, yeah, he's super happy at this family reunion. Yes, brother. Now, you, Surma, will plunge it into the squid, and then, of course, subsequently into the sacrifice's head, and you just have to stab him in the guts. It's really simple. I mean, I can't believe anyone hasn't done this before. And he goes back to chanting. You see Surma, she's still wary of you. She's giving you a very strange, she's not quite turning her back to you, keeping you kind of in front of her, kind of thing. Falzer and Shakara, you guys are hearing and seeing quite a bit of this, even from your limited view. What are you two doing?
I'm just about to finish a long rest, actually.
That's just good to me.
Yes.
How long we've been standing here?
Rolling some hit die.
I feel kind of helpless to do anything. I mean, we're outnumbered. I can't run in there, and I can't do much but stand and watch.
I think we're just waiting for Shaft to make a move, and we're going to follow his lead.
So, should there be something you guys may want to do or act on, just feel free to jump right in and interrupt, as we're going to keep spinning into this. So, Shaft, you now have the dagger in hand. Danzig and Surma, in addition to the 6 humans, are all chanting.
I'm going to look over towards the hallway in which we came from, and I assume I don't see anything. Like, I don't see them.
Make me a perception check, and Falls and Shakar can give me another stealth check. We'll compare the two directly. As the rest of them are using their passive perception because they're very enthralled into this ritual that they're casting.
That's 13.
6.
I rolled a 1.
So, Shaft, yeah, you do... You do see
casting shatter.
these stumbling idiots. Yeah, they're clearly in the middle of this tunnel and giving you a big wave. And
so I'm gonna look over at them and sort of give them a look of, like, I'm gonna do something here. I'm trying to. I don't know what the words would be, but I'm sort of giving them the head shaky type of thing.
Okay, just keep in mind Danzig is focused on you as he's chanting.
Yep, and I'm gonna go. Thanks, brother. This is something that I never dreamed I could be a part of. and I walk around behind the guy, and I sort of put my hand on Danzig's shoulder, and I'm sort of holding the dagger up, doing this number with my, like I'm waving them on with the dagger, and just, all right, I'm ready for this. And you say in the gut now, right? And I point down at the guy's gut.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm doing everything I can
Real
to
easy.
focus the attention.
Pushing Falzarin forward a little bit, getting closer.
I think I'm gonna reach into my bag and grab another health potion and drink it while this is happening.
Okay, sure, absolutely. That's
because I'm a little bit worried about what may or may not go down.
Okay, so go ahead and roll that. You don't need to necessarily give us the total, but go ahead and do that as we continue.
He said to me, just so I remember, he said that she was going to stab the thing, and then cut him, and then I was going to do the final thing and slit his gut, right?
Well, that is the order in which he gave you the instructions. Yes.
Okay, yes. All right, so I glance over to see if those two are doing anything.
I'm creeping closer.
Yeah, you see Shakara moving up.
And I'm going to yell, "Thank you so much, Cray Lakita!" And I jab the knife into his gut and cut it across.
So you did what they wanted you to do.
Yep, I did it right in there, and I
right.
slid him right across. Not in the order in which they wanted me to do it, but I did do it.
And Surma, she jabs her own dagger into the squid, into this person's head, and the squid, it spurts in this spout of ink reacting to the stab, and the blood from the wound inflicted from Shaft mixes and intermingles with the squid's ink, and it forms this slimy black ooze that seems very thick. And Shaft, as you're pulling the dagger away, you see the culmination of these two fluids, and they form this substance that now kind of puddles, like slowly, almost like molasses, but quicker than molasses. But it's thick, right? It has a thick consistency, and it drips to the floor and starts moving of its own accord towards the water, kind of following a very similar path, from sacrifices past, as it's flowing towards the water.
I throw the knife down, and I go, "I'm coming for you, Cray Lakina," and I run to the water and dive in. And I'm swimming to the boat.
Wow. Okay. What are Shakara and Falzarin doing?
Oh boy.
My jaw fell open in what the F just happened kind of way.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be speechless for at least a couple seconds. Does anything immediately happen?
There's a lot going on here.
Yes, there's a lot going on. So
right?
Danzig...
I mean, there's some time.
Yeah, Danzig's he immediately, as you plunge, starts laughing and clapping excitedly, and then abruptly stops as you throw the dagger down and run into the water. No, don't go in there. It's not safe. What? And Surma, she sheathes her own dagger and continuing to chant, but now she's changed to common. She just smiles at you running headlong towards the water and continues to chant in common, "King of the depths and all above it, devourer of the surface, you feast. Wake, 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 Kraken."
And that's our... whatever. Hey, Incorrigibles. Incorrigiblites. Definitely not Lelanders. Thanks for listening. We all super appreciate you following along with our adventure. If you could take a few seconds to rate us on iTunes or wherever you listen to us, that would be great. We'd love your feedback, and it really helps our show grow. And if you like us, recommend us to a friend. If you hate us, recommend us to a friend, or share us on social media. Leland's got so much more up his sleeve, and it's a totally original homebrew. We would love to have more friends following along. We'd love to interact with you guys on Twitter at IncorrigiblePar. On Instagram and Facebook, we're at IncorrigibleParty. All our socials can be found on IncorrigibleParty.com. And on our site, you can get merchandise, character info, world lore, etc. This podcast was sponsored by Critical Hit Design at criticalhitdesign.com. Thanks to Tabletop Audio for allowing us to use any ambient sounds or music during our show. Intro and outro by Josh Jarvis. Contact him at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com for inquiries. Catch you next time!